All right, happy Monday night, everybody. We've got Matt here from Gelatin Skeleton. How you doing, brother?
Hey, pretty good. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. So who the fuck do I want to pick on tonight? Oh, Meg's giving me the side eye, so I'm picking on Meg.
I was pointing at Crimson. All right, what was the light bulb moment that made you want to get into music?
The earliest I could, okay. So I grew up my parents I have two older sisters, and they made all of us learn an instrument. They don't know instruments, but maybe they had cool friends that did or something. So they made us all pick one. And I had a godfather too, who was he did music for the church and all this kind of stuff. So I was always around it. I guess it was just kind of like integrated in. Once it was time to choose an instrument, I saw Eddie Van Halen shredding, and I was like, I want to be a guitar player. And they were like, don't you want to play piano? And I was like, nope, now I want to play guitar even more. So I just dug into it. And I was always a natural rebel. I always questioned things. I always pushed it. When I was younger and everybody was like, oh, that's dumb, don't do that, it just made me want to do it more. So that's kind of what drove me to it, I guess. But yeah, that kind of, once it was just time to choose the instrument, I was like, this is it. And it was already there. I kind of picked up on it quick, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how it goes for everybody. Because I really think I like the fact that your parents made you choose an instrument, because I really think all kids, because I mean, if you get into music, 9 times out of 10, you won't really have to worry about them getting into drugs. Well, at least until they get way older.
I can afford it.
That's 50-50.
For the most part, it keeps a lot of kids out of fucking trouble.
Uh-huh.
Only you'll never have money.
Yeah. Be able to enjoy the little things in life a lot better.
Because every time it's like me, every time I buy a bass, I sit there and play it for 3 months. I'm like, I want another one.
Oh man!
And you play that one for 3-4 months. I want another one. And it's like, before you know, you turn around, there's like fucking guitars or bass guitars everywhere, and you're like, shit, where the fuck is my money? Well, it's all hanging on the goddamn wall.
Yep.
And 80% of them you don't even fucking play anymore.
Mm-hmm. I play a very specific guitar, so I have 4 of the same body shape guitar, but it's an ESP LTD F, like Forest model. But when I was younger, I started out playing a Fender Stratocaster. That's what I started on, and I loved it because I loved like Blink-182 and Good Charlotte and shit like that back in the day. And then I got into like heavier stuff, and I was like, well, this isn't going to work for that. Trying to play Korn on a Fender 6-string Fender Strat just really wasn't working. So
the only thing I think of when I hear Fender Strat is John 5, because he's like the only major
John 5? He's more of a Telecaster guy, I think.
Yeah,
but definitely. Were you into like Blink-182 and all that back in the day?
I was, because I grew up a pop punk kid.
Yeah, so that's Tom DeLonge's guitar, dude. The Blink is like the Squire Strat, I think. But yeah, I love that too. And so that's why I wanted a Strat. But I got the F, and that I just love that body shape. And I'm the kind of person that, like, once I find what I like, that's all I want forever. So no other guitar felt right. And then later on in life, like, I came across the F300, and I was super excited because it was like $300 at the store used. And so I was like, made my life better. And I always wanted the F500, which only came out in 2005. And I thought I'd never find it because when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to save up money for that. And it was like the 30th anniversary edition. And I didn't know how that worked. Like a couple of years later, I was like, hey, I could get that guitar. And it was like double the price now because it was like only made it this year. And I was like, well, shit. And then nobody had it for sale. Years go by. This is literally like 3 years ago. My friend Aaron, I tell him about, like, we just bring it up all the time. And he's like, dude, I see that guitar all the time. I was like, you don't see the F500. You don't see that guitar all the time. He's like, yes, I do. And he pulls up Reverb and literally sees it. And I check every week, every 2 weeks. I've been checking just here and there for like my entire, 15 years probably. And then he's just like, there it is right there. And it was like mint condition. I was like, you're kidding me. Now I didn't have the money for it at the time, but my drummer works at a bar. So he was there, and I just grabbed him. I was like, Matt, you have to buy this for me and I'll pay you back in 3 days. And he's like, geez, all right, man. Is it that real? He's like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. I was like, no, you have to do it right now. It's just going to go away. He's like, in the middle of work, and I'm like telling people to hold on with their drinks. I'm like, no, he has to put his card in. Go ahead, do this. So he did it. It's like, and instantly I'm like, life even better. Like, oh my God, my dream guitar that I wanted since I was a kid, like I'm getting it. And then to find out that wasn't the actual one. They made the 2005. They made this one in 2006. So it was the flat black. It's the same exact guitar. Maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I found the actual 30th anniversary guitar. So I had to buy it. It was $900 online, but it's there. And I was like, well, that's the one. So I have to get it. And of course, my wife was sleeping, and she woke up, and I was like, babe, I bought a guitar last night. She's like, why? And I was like, because it's the one. The one. And so that's like, I'm probably good on guitars for my life. Like, I don't need to buy a bunch more. Like, I have what I want.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way because I play the Ibanez. I like the Ibanez Tall, which is the same. Like, if you look at it, the shape is the same one Alex Wade from Whitechapel plays.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I want it in a bass, and I didn't even know they sold it in a bass until me and Meg. She flew down. We went to Welcome to Rockville, and we were looking through the music tent, and all of a sudden, I seen the damn Ibanez Tallman sitting up there as a bass, and I was like. Shit, I went home and I bought that motherfucker like 2 days later. I was like, mine.
Funny how they just speak to you. Like, like that's the one I want. That's the one that's mine.
Oh, yeah. All right, see, you're up on deck, brother.
All
So
right.
tell us one of the craziest stories that you have that you've either seen yourself or been around.
Oh, the craziest story, just me personally?
Yes.
No, probably saved this, like instantly saving this dude's life. So like, oh man, we were like, this is like, this kind of actually helps out condone underage drinking, because if we weren't there at this time, this guy would have died. So I was probably like 17, 18 years old. There was a creek a couple blocks from our house, and we always just hung out there and drank and did fun stuff. And then, so we had like some vodka and orange juice there one day. We're like, whoa, let's go finish these off. So we're sitting there. We finished those off. We start to head back. It's like maybe 1 a.m. So I see this guy just stumbling towards us. I was like, man, he's going to ask for a cigarette. And then I'm like realizing like he's not right. Like the closer we get to him, like he's like, hey, and he's like, and we're like, hey man, what's up, dude? He's like, you know where the hospital is? And we're like, oh, it's like the complete opposite direction you're walking. Now, like, we're just on some side street at like 1 a.m. This dude's just like wobbling down the road. And then I'm thinking, like, it's dark. I'm thinking this dude's like in all black, right? And I'm like, realize as I get closer to him, he's not in all black. He's actually got a yellow coat on. He's just covered in blood. And I'm like, I freak out, sober right away. And we're like, this dude his head is dented in, and he has a hole like this big, like on the side of his head, dented in. And he's wobbling like, we're in the hospital. Like, he was like probably a minute from falling over. So I run to the payphone. I'm dead sober at this point. I'm like, oh my God, 911, cops come. My friends are like walking him to me, and like they come up and get him, and they're like, asking us questions. We're like, we were just walking home from a friend's house and found this guy, whatever. And come to find out, a couple blocks away, there was this major crazy drunken accident. Now the whole time this guy's like, it's my fault, I was drunk, I'm so sorry, I killed my friends. And we're like, he's like, I was in the best condition to go ask for help. And I'm like, you're in the best condition to go ask for help? I'm like, his friends are dead. I'm like, oh my goodness. So like it was kind of on our way home, so we kind of walked by where the accident happened, and this dude had to been going like 70 miles an hour because it was just a side street, cars on both sides, where you kind of have to wait for each other. And I think he just gunned it head on into somebody else, because they looked like they like barrel rolled through some cars and landed upside down. It was like a minivan. It was chaos. There was like at least 10 cars hit and messed up and stuff sprayed all. I was like, oh my goodness, dude. There was fire trucks and ambulances and everything. And we didn't see the people. We just saw like, they were probably already in the ambulance and stuff, but it was just the aftermath of it. It was insane. I like shaking. I go home. I wake my parents. I'm like, Mom. She's like, I'm like, I just saved somebody's life, and the cop knows you guys. She's like, what happened? What? And I'm like trying to tell her the story. She's like, that's okay. You're okay. Okay, tell me in the morning. I'm like, all right. I barely slept that night. I was like, oh my God. Then I started thinking, like, what are the chances that we just happened to finish the drinks right there? We're like, it's time to go. And that got, like, literally, like, just talk about some fake stuff. That was probably one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me.
All
right. So good.
All right. So if you guys could choose any 3 bands of your choice to go on tour with, who would you choose to go?
definitely we've always felt like we would fit in well with System of a Down and Devil Driver.
Okay.
And we really like them a lot too. We've all grown up on System of a Down. That was like one of our probably mine and the drummers and bass players' biggest influences. And then I'd have to say Ritz for the third one because our singer loves. We all love hip hop too, and then our singer likes Ritz as his favorite
Okay.
guy. But yeah, probably Cold Chamber or not Cold Chamber. Devil Driver, System of a Down, and Ritz. That'd probably work.
See, I like the multi-genre stuff.
I like as long as it's hype. As long as you're like don't like bring me up here and drop me down. Like I like all kinds of genres, but don't play me death metal and then go into folk, man. Like I'm gonna
No.
hate folk, man. But if you go from folk to death metal, then all right, you build me up to it.
You know, I wasn't really sure about it at first with the multi-genre stuff until, I mean, I'm like a damn Welcome to Rockville vet. I've been going for years and years and years.
Oh, nice.
And at first, when it first came out, it was just nothing but rock and metal. And then one year, they had 2 hip-hop artists, which I'd never heard of them before. I'm not a big hip-hop guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, whatever. And there was like no bands up that I hadn't already seen 50 million times, and I just seen the name. I didn't even realize they were hip hop. So I was just like, the very first one was Yellow Wolf.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I don't know who the hell Yellow Wolf is, but let's go fucking sing it.
Yeah.
And he came out, and the show was, the dude was like 10,000% fucking energy through the roof the entire time. I was just like, okay. You got my attention.
Yeah.
And then I got even more blown away because a couple of hours later, the same night, we go and I see this fucking name, Tech Nine. So I'm like, who the fuck is Tech Nine? All right, so we go. And that dude just completely blew my fucking mind. I'm like,
dude, yeah, he's awesome.
I'm a huge Tech Nine fan now.
The first time you saw him was live?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, like I have found so many amazing bands live that I'd never heard before, didn't have any clue who they were, because I kind of fell into the same mold of like a lot of people do of just sticking with the radio shit. And then once I really started playing out into bands and realizing that there's just thousands of bands out there, that
a lot of bands.
There's bands out there that I've heard that I would put up against any fucking big band that are just fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then that's when I really started like digging and just getting invested in trying to find all of these fucking bands that exist.
Yeah.
I just got mind blown. And then Welcome to Rockville started bringing in all these, you know, yes, they were big, but not big at the same time.
Okay.
And that's how I seen Jelly Roll live for the first time. I had no fucking clue who the hell Jelly Roll was. And I seen him, that's how I found him, was live.
That's random. Huh.
And I'm just like, holy shit. So I started like, anytime I go to a festival, if I see somebody that I don't recognize, I'll immediately look up the music or go see them if I can, because all the big bands I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the new shit.
That's one of my favorite things about those kind of things. Is like seeing those, like, I never heard of that, never heard of that. Like, I love seeing new things.
Yeah, it's like me and Meg, we discovered one, and that show was fucking awesome. We went and watched this band called Big Truck. If you've not seen them, go look up Big Truck, because it's good.
I know I've seen that name. I've seen that name. I think I've heard a song. What is it?
Huh? What, Meg? Oh, Meg froze.
I think it's a Big Ass Truck.
Oh yeah, Big Ass Truck. They were fucking awesome. Like,
that's a perfect band name, dude. Big Ass Truck.
Yeah, and they literally have a song named after the band Big Ass Truck, which is the last song that they play on the set. And I was so fucking impressed with this band. I was just like, dude, these guys throw a party. Like, it was kind of like a hardcore version of Immure or Attila. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I dig the fuck out of this.
Hell yeah.
All right, Meg, you're up.
What is the weirdest venue you've ever played?
The weirdest venue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, like, weirdest venue. outside of like a swamp in like a buddy's backyard, like, but like he just like set up a tent and like pallets in the yard, and it was all wet and muddy, and ran extension cords. I'm like, I mean, it wasn't really a venue, but it was like the weirdest spot. I'm like, why would you have music right here?
Yeah.
But the weirdest venue we play is a place called I don't think it's here anymore. It might be. It was called the Doghouse here, and it was like the Murder Junkies. We played with them, obviously after Gigi Allen, but it was like years ago. And this is like a biker bar where like they got their regular shit, and that's all they want. So there was like, it was really weird because the stage was literally just like that little like 3-inch platform in the corner, enough for just the drums, and then. And it was like divided. So like the bar was all the way down there on the other side, and everybody's sitting at the bar. All the regulars sitting at the bar. They got their backs turned to you. You feel very unwelcome, and it's like a biker bar too. So you feel even more like our bass player's like, he's like, I don't feel comfortable, man. I don't think they want us here. And I was like, oh, I mean, fuck it. I didn't put the show on. What are they gonna do? They kept like coming out, like they would just like, give you looks like, loud music, like. So that was probably the weirdest venue I played, just because it was like made you feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know where this place was, but I played there when I was in my like low 20s. It was somewhere in like the Everglades of Florida.
Uh-huh.
And we pull up, and it's like this weird. It's like all these buildings that form like almost a full circle, and they're like pull around back. We get back there. There's a stage, just a wooden stage. Then a wooden platform. In the middle of it is a swimming pool. And then these like wooden buildings that are all the way around it that there's like serving like beer and food and shit. And then like off in the corner is like a horse stable, a rodeo. Like
wild.
What the fuck are we doing? So the other two bands pull up and they're like, "Oh, this place is wild, dude. They're gonna get naked and they sure as shit." Like halfway through, because we were the opening band. Halfway through set, everybody there's titties and ass and dick and everywhere.
Wow.
Naked people everywhere, and dude, they were digging the shit out. People were like fucking like crowd surfing in the pool, and it was. God, I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I'm just like, it was so hard to play because I was like trying not to laugh at half the shit I was seeing, and I felt so bad throughout that set, and I was just like, dude, this is why I didn't even know that anything like this even existed.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that it was not legal, like at all.
Hell yeah.
Because they were like selling beers out of like coolers. They just like, it was like they had this like hand drawn menu, and like beers were like the most expensive beer there was like $2. It was like $2 a beer. They were selling like microwaved burritos and shit.
That's awesome.
It was cool, but it was like the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That's great, dude.
No security. No, I don't even know who the fuck was in charge. And then at the end of it, this like dwarf girl comes up and like hands us an envelope with the money. It was like, bye.
All right.
At least we got paid.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it was intense. All right, CB, you're up.
All right. So on the genre of movies, what is your favorite horror film?
You're gonna pull this out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a tough one. Favorite one. That's like asking me my favorite song. Sheesh. I guess the one that comes to mind the most recently is like Terrifier is probably the most recent one I saw. I like a lot.
Right.
I don't really know a lot. I'm not really like kept up to date. I was just talking to my friend Phil about this the other night, and he's like, "You got to see Barbarian. You got to see Weapons. You got to see." He gave me a few to check out, and I was like, "Hell yeah, man! I need you to just text me every day like some new stuff to watch," because I've gone through all the corny movies on Netflix and Hulu, and I'm just like, these all kind of suck. Like I don't know what to watch because I don't know anything new that's good, but
right.
Something gory, something brutal, I'm down with it. Like I like
you need to just go to Tubi.
Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi's free. Just go to their horror genre. They got everything from like the 50s all the way to like new.
Okay, cool.
Try to pick all the stuff that's in the 80s because that's the better shit.
Yeah, I mean, I like the older stuff. Of course, the old horror, like Freddy and anything with the dolls, anything with deadly dolls in it. I like.
Have you seen Puppet Master?
Chucky, Puppet Master.
Yes.
That's another one too. I saw that was. What's the other one with like the little puppets? Not puppets, but like little dolls.
There's demonic dolls or demonic toys.
No, that's not.
There's dolls.
It might just be dolls, actually.
Yeah, Dolls is old. Like that was done by Full Moon Productions, Charles Band, and that was probably out in like 83, 84.
Okay, yeah, I like the older stuff.
Yeah, I actually have a tattoo of Dolls on my fucking leg because I fucking love that movie.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, Dolls is good. I actually liked, and I know this is an unpopular opinion. I actually really liked the fucking movies Megan. I know.
I haven't seen them yet. I do want to see
The
them.
first one is more horror based. The second one really isn't horror. I would say it's more like sci-fi action thriller kind of.
Okay.
It's like way out there, fucking left field. But I was a big fan of Chucky up until it just got too.
Yeah, it just became a comedy.
Yeah, it just got too corny for me, and I was just like, the first two child plays I loved. The third one, I was like, this is a bit much. And then brought to Chucky, a seat of Chucky. I was like, all right, you lost me.
Yeah.
It's now too fucking weird.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
It got weird.
Maybe if you would have like came out the gate being weird, then I would have been like cool. But like it just like completely, they just derailed that shit. Like as soon as the third one came out, it just derailed.
Yeah, there was this game actually that got me recently. I never ever thought I'd be scared of a game, but it was this like $3 game, and I was like, I've never played a horror game before. Let's check it out. And like, my wife hates horror movies. Like, she can't sleep if we see some shit. And so I'm sitting next to her like playing this game, and I'm just like, and it's just like making me jump. And she's like, stop it! You're scaring me. I was like, I'm sorry, it's freaking me out. I was like, I didn't think I would get scared by a game, but I can't remember the name of it. But it was, I like couldn't play it like unless she was in bed because it freaked me out. All these jump scares are just like going, and it's all creepy. I'm like, holy shit, this game is scarier than any movie I've seen. I will say, though, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Blair Witch from 2016. Like I
didn't really like Blair Witch.
I liked it because I was probably a kid, and I used to hunt with my brother-in-law, and we watched it, and we went out to the woods at like 3:30 in the morning the next day. Like, worst thing probably ever to do after watching that movie. And he's fucking with me. He's like clanking rocks, walking down the creek and stuff. And I'm like, what's that noise?
Yep.
I was never like a found footage guy. Like some of them are okay, and I was like, I'm more like I like the dolls and the monsters and like the fantasy horror and shit like that. Like I got into that, but like the found footage, and I'm not a big slasher guy, except I do love Freddy. Yeah.
I'm cool with like a little bit of old corny too, like Santa's sleigh and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
that's what I love.
Yeah, like I love that kind of shit too. Like that, just like over the top, like cheesy, and just like also like awesome.
I love that shit, but like there's one that me and Meg, it was the first night we got into Florida, and so we sat in the living room and opened up some beers, and we're talking about the bandit shit, and she's like, well, let's watch some horror movies. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, CB told me about one that's based off of Winnie the Pooh called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. We watched that shit. It was the most ridiculous, dumbest shit.
We're like halfway through, and I'm like, I don't want to continue, but I feel like I have to. So we watched the thing all the way through.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty excruciating. We kind of looked at each other like, all right, let's get something better for the second movie. This was fucking ridiculous.
What was that? Color of Space? Was that the second
Color of Space. It
was
was really good.
Nice.
Really good. Well, if you like H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So it was based off of a H.P. Lovecraft novel, and I was like, all right, this is dope as shit.
Yeah.
All right, so next question.
All
if
right.
you could spend 24 hours with any musical icon, dead or alive, and you could learn everything they know about the music industry, who would you spend that time with?
Oh, the whole industry.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, you spend this 24, you get 24 hours with this person to learn everything that they know.
All right, this isn't my answer, but like Puff Daddy popped into my mind. I'm like, that dude knows some shit.
Oh God, no! No,
It's not my answer. It just was like, man, what does he know?
You're gonna learn about.
I don't want to know everything that he knows.
Baby oil with prison cells.
Yeah, no, especially not now. Honestly, I'd probably have to say Dr. Dre.
Actually, you know what? That's a good fucking answer.
I mean, the dude's been around for a long time. He's got, longevity.
I mean, you're talking about from an aspect of everything from being a musician to being a producer, to a director.
Everything. That dude's in all of it. He did all of it.
That's a pretty. We've never had that answer, so I'm shocked. But I'm like, as soon as you said it, I was like, I didn't realize how in depth in music that man was until I watched that documentary on NWA.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
And I watched that NWA movie, and I'm like, damn, did he really do this much shit? So I started like looking into it and researching it. I'm like, this motherfucker's a genius.
Yep.
Like how much shit that he was involved in, even like stuff that had nothing to do with him that he was behind the scenes on and producing and directing and writing music for, and how many rappers that he wrote music for that he was never even credited for.
Yeah.
Just like dude has been around for a long time. And you can't help but to respect somebody like that that's held a career for this long and has been in that much shit.
Yeah, I feel like if you could sit in a room with that dude for 20 minutes, you'd probably learn a lot. You know, if he sat down and gave you some knowledge, like, that's worth it right there. But yeah, that dude, he'd probably be my first pick for sure.
I mean, him or even Snoop Dogg. I mean, look at how long that guy's been. And hell, if it wasn't for Dr. Dre, there wouldn't be a Snoop Dogg.
That's what I'm saying. I'd just go right there. Yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't have been a Snoop Dogg without Dr. Dre.
Exactly. Eminem.
Look at it. It's like there wouldn't have been a DOC and fucking NWA and Warren G and all Nate Dogg and all these fucking rappers that Dr. Dre has had his fucking hands in. It's like,
did you ever listen to Warren G? Yeah, did you ever listen to Warren G?
I did.
So like he always cracked me up. There's a couple songs he has where I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? It makes no sense. I'm like, but he's really good at making beats. He's a really good DJ, but like some of his raps, I'm just like, that made no sense at all.
So
Run It With No Breaks. That's one of my favorite Warren G songs. But the lyrics are like, what did he just say? It's like, it makes no sense.
Well, I was an MTV kid. So that's where I was an MTV kid. Like back when MTV was actually MTV, not reality TV, but actual MTV.
I was a sheltered kid. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV.
Oh yeah, dude, I watched it all. I was MTV all day, every day, just completely enveloped. Because if it wasn't for
days too,
if it wasn't for MTV, I wouldn't be doing what I do today. Because it was because of them and getting to watch MTV. Like that's what got me into really is hard rock and heavy metal, was seeing Beavis and Butthead and seeing fucking It was the video for Ace of Spades from Motorhead. And then in that same episode, I seen White Zombie and they were doing Thunder Kiss 65. And then they did Pantera, This Love. Yeah. And then that's like my descent into music was based off of really Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's
it's just it's kind of nuts how like all these musicians, where they start and how they start and what even lands them in being in bands or even wanting to be a musician.
I know, because everybody has a different path. It's like there's some bands that we might have gotten into, but everybody like has a different way there, and then you land on a different. That's what's cool about music is like I always tell people like, the people who are like learning and they're just like, oh, I'll never be that good. I'll never be as good as that guy. And I always just say, yeah, but that guy's never as good as the guy he wants to be as good as. And also like, or they'll say like, oh, everything's already been done. What am I going to add to the mix? And I always say like, look, just because every color exists doesn't mean every picture's been painted. So like, everybody's painted a picture with sunset, but no one's painted your picture of the sunset. So I just try to like encourage people to stick with it, because I'm sure people are like, oh, I just want to quit when they see somebody that's like super awesome. But like, I think everybody can bring value to it if you.
Well, yeah, that's why I tell people all the time. I'm like, hell, when I seen fucking Ryan Martini from Mudvayne for the first time, I felt like this fucking small. Yeah. And then it's like you look at guys like, with me being a bass player, it's like you look at guys like Les Claypool and you're like from Primus, and I'm just like, dude, Metallica turned him down. He's too good.
I know. That makes sense. So yeah.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
That's what our bass player grew up learning. Like, it's like actually like he goes into like rock, or not rock band. It's the guitar game. I can't think of it. Guitar Hero. Yeah, that's how he like got into metal and stuff like that. So he played guitar, or no, he first started playing bass, then he played guitar, back to bass. But yeah, he learned a bunch of Primus stuff, and like that's one of his favorite bands. And so he plays all that shit. He loves it.
I love fucking Primus. Primus.
Yeah, that was.
You're up.
All right.
Can you describe the sound of your music using only food?
Using only food?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good. I've never been asked that before.
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to say like, jeez. Start out with some fresh dough. Then we'll go into some chicken Alfredo pasta.
Okay.
Full, and then we'll add some chicken curry, rice, and naan, and then we'll add some pizza logs and an Italian sauce. I don't even know.
This is all of it.
Some powdered milk on there. I don't know. So I don't know. It's like not going to be edible. But at the same time, you don't want to say that about your music. So like, I don't know, man. Because I guess I've always referred to it as like scrap metal, because we don't really repeat anything. We just kind of like rivet riffs together, I guess. I'm always like, oh, there you go. Like we're in a junkyard of riffs, and it's like, which ones go together? And you're like, oh, look, you forgot about these riffs, So I always thought about scrap pieces of things. And so I'm like, well, it'd be like, I guess if you were to look in your fridge, you'd be like, well, I got some ramen noodles, some mustard, a hot dog bun, and then you make that into something that's delicious, and you're like, that's actually not bad.
All right. Ramen dog.
I kind of like to brought that up, because it's like my band Neo Hex, we do the same thing, and there's not a lot of bands that do that. So when we write, we actually write nothing but just riff after riff after riff after riff. We don't actually focus on like, per se, we're not like, okay, we're going to sit down and write a whole song, because you have no idea what that riff that you create, somebody else in your band will be like, oh shit, I have something that can fucking transition into that.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of develops into this, whole entire either art or monstrosity.
Yeah, like I look at it like it's like a movie rather than like a nursery rhyme. It's like a typical song being like intro, verse, chorus, climax, and then either the chorus or verse at the end. Like that's kind of like a repeating, like, okay, like a TV show, but like writing in like succession is almost like front to back like a movie, And so like I actually have ideas to do music videos for our stuff, but I'm like, I think the only way I could do it is a comic book, because we need like a Hollywood like $1 million budget to do like what I would have hoped to do, but like that's dreams in my head. Yeah, it would be really cool. The bass player likes it.
We'll have to talk afterwards, because I have somebody for it.
Ah, dude, yes.
I can do that. So and add a budget.
I'll show you my ideas and we'll see what you can do.
Awesome.
But yeah, you don't see very many bands that do that, because they all want to stick to this, like, oh, we have to stick to like music theory, and we have to stick to this, and we have to stick to that. So we write this one riff, and then if you go off of music theory, it's got to lead into this, and then it's got to do this, and it's got to do that. But why do you have to have a blueprint? Because essentially music is art.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do something, just fucking do it the way that you want to do it. Yeah. There shouldn't be any like skeletal system or exact way to do it. As long as you're happy with it and the fans like it, that's all that should fucking matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, good analogy for that is like people. Like there's no right way for a person to look. If it's beautiful, if the person is beautiful to you, then that's all that matters. So like, it's just the same way you should look at writing a song. Like, it's like there's no right way to do this. There's wrong ways to do it for sure.
Well, yeah,
definitely push. I mean, I think like there's a lot of like people call it noise, and that's exactly what it is. I'm like, this is, I don't know. Some people are like, it's music. I'm like, I feel like the line for me is like a rhythm. And if there's no rhythm, it's just noise. I mean, they call it noise.
There's this DJ that just played as like a, I don't know if it was a co-headliner or like an opener or something for this other guy, this other artist, and he played some avant-garde stuff. It sounded like noise. Yeah, I forget who it was, but it went viral on like TikTok, and people were just like booing him bad. And he's made good music before, but for some reason for this show, he spent his 35 minute set just playing this crazy shit.
Well, see, like I discovered a lot of my influences came from like stuff like I Wrestled a Bear Once and the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza.
Glad they're back this year.
Yes, and these are bands that like broke that mold. Like they didn't have like, here's chorus, verse, bridge, or breakdown. There was no fucking system.
Yeah,
it was, we're gonna do what the fuck we want to do. We're gonna do it how we want it and how we like it. And people either like it or they fucking hate it. And I got dogged on forever because I've been a big. I Wrestled a Bear Once is probably one of my favorite bands. They're my favorite band.
Yeah,
and hearing them and listening to them for as long as I did, I'm just like, fuck the system. There is no damn system. And me, I was never a trained musician. Like I just picked up a bass whenever I was a kid and just started beating the fuck out of it until I started figuring shit out on my own.
Yeah.
And I still don't. Like, I can't read sheet music. I don't know what the fuck that shit means.
Nope. It pisses me off so much because he's the guy like, he knows theory, he knows time signatures and all this stuff, and like I never learned any of that. And to me, everything's in 4 and 3. When he found out how I counted, he's like, "How are you counting that in 4?" And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's like, "That's not how you count music." He's like, "What the fuck? That's why everything's in 4s and 3s." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh no." He's like, "It has to stay steady." And I was like, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, "I don't know. I go with the riff." He's like, "How are you supposed to play it with the riff?" And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're coming at me too strong. I don't know. I just you're stressing me out after that note, and that's it. That's music.
I agree. Like it really doesn't need to have like a system. As long as it fits and it fucking sounds good and you're happy with it, then that's all that should fucking matter. But I see too many people who are very like stringent on, okay, it has to be this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, I've actually known a band who's like, they start out, they're like, I have a riff that's in this scale or whatever, or this, whatever you call it, and they're like, so then every riff they write is in those fences, you know what I mean? And it's like, right. So then that'll work with the song, and I see how that helps writing come along because it's like, oh, okay, cool, you know where to be, and you know it's gonna sound all right. But then it's like it leaves out any room for like that random fun shit. Like we have a song we call PPGM. We colloquially call it like the punk song because it started out as a joke. Me and the drummer just fucking around. It starts out like kind of like goes in like a good Charlotte style riff, and then it goes right into like jin 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 jin, and then it jumps back into punk like so it's like fun gore, and it was like, so we called it the PPGM was like pop punk gore metal. That was like a joke we sent to the singer. We're like, I hope you can sing, and they go and then sing and go like to fuck with them, and then like we kind of just riffs just started coming after it. We're like, oh, that would be fun if we did this after that. Oh, this would be cool too. Oh, then we can go to this. That's actually really cool. And then that's kind of how all the songs come about. But it's always like that one actually started out as a joke. We weren't going to really do anything with it. But then it like turned into a song from that. And so like there's a couple other parts, like a Batman and Robin part where it's like, and then it goes into like a slam, like a jig. So there's like, it's all over the place, but it's fun. If you put yourself in a fence or in somewhere like that, you're gonna leave out moments like that where like you just had fun with it, Like when we write, it's never like we're sitting down trying to do something. We're more just like we're sitting down and we're like, this riff just came to me. I'm like, this is a cool riff. We'll try to learn that riff, and sometimes it'll just go, and we'll just riff after, and we're like, oh, that's cool. We'll remember what we can. Other times we're just like, oh, I'm really feeling this song, like, ooh, I got an idea for this after this riff, and we'll just work on what we're feeling that day. And a lot of times it's like new riffs. Like we have a fuck ton of half songs just like sitting around like waiting for the next riff to come along. But it's like, so we'll practice them, we'll play them through, and then sometimes we'll just try to go. Like the drummer will just like, oh, this is the next part, and I kind of just freestyle with him. And at the end of it, we're like try to figure out a good ending. There's songs where we've like changed the ending of like 4 times until we figured out and got it right. We never want to settle. We're never like, we know like the one time we had the ending, we're like, well, that's close. I guess that would work. But then when we like kept digging at it, like making it better and better, like we got there, we're like, I'm so glad we didn't give up on that. I'm so glad we kept with it.
Yeah, no, it's like with some of the bands that I've heard and I've interviewed that do it that way. They're like, one of the things that we do is we just record riffs.
Yeah.
And you just come up with a riff, you record it. Yeah. Come up with a riff, record it. Well, before you know it, you've got 50, 60 riffs sitting in there. Mm-hmm. And then you sit there and start listening to all of them. Yep. And experimenting with it. And then before you know it, you might have 10 goddamn songs out of this bank of 60 fucking riffs. And they're like, oh shit, we got a whole goddamn album.
I know. Yeah.
But it's like, me and the guitarist I've been working with for 13 years, that's exactly what we did. Is we would just sit down and send each other riffs back and forth, and just record them and just keep this big ass bank.
Yeah.
Then we go back and listen to all of it. We're like, oh shit, this riff would actually go really good with this, and fucking we're like Frankenstein shit together, and then. Before you know it, because me and him go wild, we're like, well, shit, let's add violins, let's add cello, let's add piano.
Yeah, have fun with it, man. Fuck.
Let's do this, let's fucking add some cinematic shit behind that. And we just keep fucking layering shit until it creates this fucking awesome thing. And I feel like you were talking about being in a box. If you put you in a box, you're going to stay confined.
Yeah.
You have to think outside of that fucking box.
Yeah.
And that's when your best shit is gonna fucking come.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're just having fun with it. It's just like you're not trying, That's how it works best.
I feel like if you try and you try too hard, it's gonna sound too watered down and too systematic.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's then you're taking it away.
The playing in a certain scale or playing in a box, is it like now you're confined to that, and especially if that works for you. I also worry about like people who like do music as a job, like as an actual career, like the change in mentality you have to have towards writing songs, like we this is a fun for us. I mean, we definitely take it seriously, but like it's not paying the bills. So like, we don't have deadlines. We don't have to, meet certain criteria or anything like that, or the song doesn't have to be a certain way to sell a certain amount. But people who have to write music for those purposes, I just feel like I couldn't imagine thinking of music that way. Like it would like put me in a consistent writer's block if I had to write a song by this day and it had to be this way, and I would never be able to do it. I'd be like, I don't know what you want from me.
I'm out.
I quit. I just have fun.
I'm done. All right, CB, you're up on deck, brother.
All right. So, are you a Star Wars fan? Or are you a Star Trek?
I'm like
you've been winning.
I'm not really into neither, actually. My wife's into Star Wars, but not me.
Okay,
I'm like Lord of the Rings.
The white counts. It counts.
I'm not a hater. I'm not against it. You can go ahead and love Star Wars or Star Trek. I don't hate it. I did watch the movie Trekkies, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, if you like that, you need to watch the movie Fanboys.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
It's actually free on Tubi, and it's fucking hilarious.
Is it a movie or is it a documentary?
It's a movie.
Okay, because Trekkies was a documentary. These are real people. Like it's.
So Fanboys is basically about like Star Wars fans, but it's a lot of like bigger name actors that are actually like Star Wars fans, and they kind of play it out. But like Seth Rogen is in it, and there's like a lot of like cameos from actors that were actually in Star Wars, like Carrie Fisher is in it, and a bunch of other people, but it's got like Danny Trejo that's in it, and it's actually a really good fucking movie, but it's fucking hilarious. The whole point is like they decide that they're going to break into George Lucas's house to steal a fucking version of episode 1 before it ever comes out.
Oh, speaking of that, I will tell you a funny story about Star Wars though.
Bring it on.
Up here in Erie, so like my cousin went to high school with this dude who's like his friend. I think it was episode 1 actually. He stole it and put it out there, pirated it for everybody, and they made this big example of him. They were like, the whole $250,000 fine. He was in like front page of the newspaper, all this shit. Like he went to jail and everything, and they blew the story way up. So but my cousin like knew him and stuff, but he's just like, nah. He's like, he ain't going to jail. He had like a $5,000 fine. He had to like write George Lucas an apology letter and all this, and like that's pretty much all that happened. But they blew him up like front pages of the newspaper and everything, and acted like he was getting that $250,000 fine, 10-year prison time, and all this, and just to make an example out of him. And I was like, that was back when like the Napster time, or like maybe a little after the Napster time, but like pirating movies they were trying to like limit it, but it's just the internet, man. You can't. But they I don't know how the hell they caught that dude, but yeah, that's the only like Star Wars story I was like that happened.
That's crazy.
Fair enough. All right, so what is the worst food that you've ever eaten on tour or playing at a venue?
Oh, I mean, dog food probably, or just like the worst food.
Oh no!
Just because I had to try it, But me and my friend were like, "Fuck it, let's just do it, man. It can't be that bad." And it was pretty gross.
Was it wet or was it kibble?
Oh, you're going there, man?
It wasn't wet. Ugh, I would have thrown up if it was wet. It was pretty bad. I also did. There's like this stuff you spray on garbage to keep dogs off called Rid, and that shit. Ugh, that will stay in a human's mouth for like a week. That does not go away.
Hold on.
You don't want
that. Did you spray Rid in your mouth?
I didn't spray it in my mouth. I was like spraying it on shit, and it was on my hand or whatever. And I just went like this a little bit, and it was like there. I was like, man, I taste it. Ugh. And then it just spread in my mouth. And I was like, wow, it's just the bitterest, nastiest taste. I couldn't get it out. I'm like rinsing with everything, pop milk, vinegar. Like it just wasn't coming out. And then I'm like looking at my friend's dog. Like, you do this to that dog? He's like, well, it's just dog, man. They need it. They need it to be that strong. I'm like, fuck. Days. I didn't taste right for days.
Oh my gosh.
That was when I was in high school. I was probably like 16 at that time. That's why when I started banding was 16. I'm 39 now. And so like my younger years of being in a band were a lot wilder. Like just me personally was a lot wilder. But yeah, now it's a lot more professional now. We still have our fun, but we're pushing 40 and stuff now. So can't do that stuff anymore.
That is true. All right, Meg, what?
What's the hardest lesson you've had to learn in the music industry?
In music? Hardest lesson I had to learn. I guess I'd say I'm a really like not gullible, but like I treat everybody with respect instantly, and like I don't think people are out to get you or people are talking shit behind your back or stuff like that. I'm a hugger. I just go up and I hug everybody. I'm like, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your music with us. Like I love seeing my friends do what they do. So I guess the hardest lesson to learn was pretty much that like not everybody who smiles to your face is smiling behind your back. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I try to be that guy. I mean, it kind of comes naturally to me. I don't hate anybody for any reason that they're just like making music or something like that. But I don't know if people get jealous or what it is. But yeah, people just I heard things later on like, why did that guy talk shit on me? I never did nothing to that guy. Like,
it takes so much effort to hate. I don't understand why people are like that. Like
I don't get it either. Especially like I don't know. Like I enjoy. I'm a fan and I'm a musician. So like when I get off stage, I'm sitting there watching all my friends band play, all the other bands play. Like I enjoy watching it too.
Yeah.
And like, so I'm there having the best time of my life. Like I'm like I get to play a show and I get to watch a show. This is fucking great. And like, I'm just having the best time. And I don't know. Some people are just I don't know. There's competition. So I also like growing up in bands. I was always just the guitar player. I didn't even get a smartphone until like a year ago. Like I was a flip phone guy. Yeah, I almost made it to 40 with never having a smartphone. So like actually everybody in our band has always been like this. Like only the singers had social media and stuff like that. So like after we lost our last singer, I was like, all right, what are they doing? How do they do this? I'm trying to figure this all out. And I realized like they were kind of portraying us in a way that none of us really agreed with. And I was like, God, we got to kind of take the reins on this.
Wow.
And so like me stepping into that role of like, you know, manager, I guess, is like the guy who's like sets things up and the guy who goes out and talks to people and does the business aspect of it. That's when I really learned like, oh man, there's a lot of people who just like hate each other behind closed doors, you know, and like there's a lot of people smiling to each other's faces and they don't really like each other. And I'm like, that sucks. Cause I'm like, I'm friends with everybody. And I'm like, well, shit, now you're going to feel weird if I'm hanging out over here, not over here. Oh, this sucks. Now there's all this like political shit behind it. And that part sucks. So that's when I really learned that like, holy shit, there's a lot of people that I thought were smiling all the time and they're not.
You know, I've told all of my bands this that I manage, the more that you guys have jealousy and greed towards each other, you're killing the entire industry.
Yeah.
The more that you guys will you don't have to like be best friends. You don't have to go out to the fucking bar with each other 3 times a fucking week. But if you guys will just get along, play shows together, and work together, this industry would be so much more profitable.
Definitely.
But when you're sitting there having jealousy and greed and you're going behind each other's back talking shit and you're like, oh, fuck this band, and you're keeping them from making money and playing shows, you're a fucked up individual.
Definitely.
Like, there's something wrong with you.
We also got to think they're not doing it for the right reasons. You know, it's like
right.
Me, like what it's all about to me is like you write something or you create something with a group of dudes or a group of people that you're just like, you care about, you know, and you're like, this thing you created is like an energy. And then you go share that with people and then they reciprocate that energy and it makes it even more powerful. And you both get to share in that energy. So that's what we're doing essentially is like everybody who's playing music is doing that thing. And so that's all that should matter. That's all we should be focusing on. And we should be cheering everybody on who's doing that thing. Because even if you're not feeling that energy they're putting out, if you see other people do it, you know, if it's there, you know, it's like it's being created. And so like, that's all we should be doing this for. It's like if you get money off it, cool. If people buy your merch, cool. If you get fans and you blow up, cool. But we should all be cheering each other on because we're all trying to do that. That's just what we should be trying to do with it. We're not making music to try to sell shit to profitize and I don't know, like make a living off it. I mean, if it comes to that, cool. But it's like you're doing it to create this energy that when is reciprocated turns into a more powerful energy that like is cool and it's awesome. And everybody benefits from that.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like it's everybody benefits from that. You know, like when people who don't play instruments, they're like, you know, I go to shows. It's like a therapy thing. It is.
Yeah.
We all have that. We play music, so it's like it's even more so for us that that's what gets our shit out. You know, and it's like and it creates these monsters like you talk about, and it's like they're entities, man. It's like it's so cool. Like music's so awesome, and like to be stuck on jealousy shit is just surface level. It's like you're not deep enough into it. You're not like doing it for the right reasons. You're
right.
You know, you're not doing this.
Because like I've seen it happen a million times that a band gets jealous of another band and then go out there and start talking shit about stuff that isn't even true. And there's people that has done it to me in the industry that they're like, you know, saying all kinds of crazy shit that never even fucking happened just to get rid of you because they feel like you're fucking competition and they want you out. That does not work because eventually it might work for a little bit at first. But eventually, people are going to see you for how you truly are.
Yeah, exactly.
You start to fucking realize it, and you're going to shoot yourself in the fucking foot. Because just like everything else, if everybody would just get along and respect each other and give them that common respect, I said, you ain't got to be best friends.
Yeah.
You ain't got to have goddamn sleepovers and have them for fucking dinner and beer.
But you're both doing the same thing, man. It's like you're both.
Now, if you did do that, it would be even better.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if you sit there and went out and shook their, because you can ask CB any show I go to, whether I'm, you know, running it as a manager or I'm in the band or whatever the hell I'm in, I go up and I talk to every fucking individual.
Yeah,
I hug them, I shake their hand, I give them that fucking time, I give them that respect, even though they might be an asshole and they might be a dick and have a major ego.
Yeah.
I don't fault them for that.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be me and I'm going to still do what I need to do. Yeah. And I'm still going to put out that kind of energy because all this negative shit, it's going to kill the industry and it's going to kill your local scene. It's going to kill your regional scene. It's going to kill all of it.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen it a million times over. I've seen it here. There's no music scene here anymore because all the bands and all the promoters, with all their infighting, fucking killed it.
Yep.
Now nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
So now that nobody's doing it, there's no shows.
Yeah. We lost sight of what mattered most. That's what happens.
So now all of you fucked each other without lube. You got fucking prison. You all prison raped each other and just fucked the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We all sat down and ate together. It's just very easy. That kind of goes right with that hardest lesson to learn, which is just like, why do so many people not get that? Why do so many people look at it as a competition? Why do so many people like want to stand in your way? It's one thing to like, I don't know how to help you and I can't help you, but I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm not going to block you. You know, like why? Like we don't really fit in here much because we kind of live in like a cover band town. It's like a real pop music cover band.
Oh, I know. I already know.
You know, like if somebody were to ask us to do a show, say with like two bands that we didn't really fit with, we might be like, hey, you probably want them. They'd probably fit better. You know, it's like because that's better for everybody. It's like, you know, you ever been played a show, you know, you don't fit in, and people look at you like, the fuck, these guys,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to play that show, like, but you know a band that might fit better on that show that would please the crowd better. Just help them out. You help the band out, and then it just works better for everybody. Like, just have that mentality. It's not a competition, man. We can all help each other. It's like, it's
everybody love everybody.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super easy. Like I loved growing up too. Like music was party to me. So like when we played a show, it was a party. We didn't just play a show. We always had people over back in our band room after the show. Anybody was invited. I call myself aggressively inclusive. I've actually spent almost an entire night trying to gather everybody to where like by the time I actually got everybody in one room and sat down, they were leaving because I'd like, where have you been this whole time? I'm like, I was trying to make sure nobody was left out. And then I realized like, well, shit, I'm not like actually there with anybody. So I had to like calm it down a little bit. My friends would be like, dude, you don't have to invite the entire bar to the party. Like, yes, I do. They're here and they like their music.
All right, so that we have ran out of time. For those of you that are watching, we're actually going to play a song from Gelatin Skeleton, A Notice to the Renters.
Oh, in the 601 area, yeah. So can I give you a quick story about this song?
Absolutely.
Because you have to. This is if you're gonna play this song, you have to hear the backstory.
Need context.
So the lyrics of this song. So we used to rent a room at this place called Raven Sound, and we come into a room one day and we found this note on our door. And this song is that note verbatim. It's about a couch being left in a dumpster, and this guy Phil who's pissed. So at the time we didn't know Phil, but when I met him, he's this super nice guy, and that's why I knew that they said, just so you know, Phil's pissed, because Phil doesn't get pissed. And like this pissed Phil off that there was a couch in the dumpster. He didn't know who it was. It was somebody in the 601 area, so he put notes on everybody's door, the same note. And it was like, you could, like, if you want to man up and admit it, like, you know, basically saying like, just tell us you did it and everything's gonna be cool. And so the song is that verbatim, and it's all through the eyes of Phil. Music to this. And then at the end, we had everybody that would come in who rented rooms with us at Raven do the pissed at the end. So there's like 5 or 6 vocals all saying pissed at the same time. They all rented rooms there too. So that's the backstory.
I love that.
Fantastic. So you hang around till after the show. Guys, we are fucking out of here. We love you guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Here is that song that he just gave you backstory on. And on that, we will see you guys again tomorrow night.
Bye.